It was a week before Christmas, and I was tired of shopping. So when my friend Eddie asked me to meet him at one of our favorite local bars with some old friends, I jumped at the opportunity. When I walked into that smoky room, I was greeted with warm hugs and a cold beer. And we were laughing and talking when Rob walked in. Eddie shot me a nervous look. I turned, and there he was. It had been a year since he had gotten engaged. I found myself looking forward to talking to him. It was time to move on. I walked over to the bar to say hello. His cheeks were flushed, and his mustache was still a little damp from the falling snow. His reddish-brown hair was still shoulder length, but it had thinned. When he smiled, the corners of his crystal blue eyes creased, reminding me of our 8-year age difference. He patted the chair next to him.
Hello, darling. How have you been?
He had always reminded me of a country western star with his rugged good looks and flannel shirts, and he sounded like one, too. I'm doing great, just hanging out with the gang. He gave them the old head nod and then focused on me.
It's been a long time.
Yes, it has been. But I've heard you've been busy. He bit his upper lip. He always used to do that when he was nervous or happy. I wasn't sure which one he was right now. He lit a cigarette, and he touched my hand. His touch sent a shock up my arm. Damn, just like old times, and like nothing ugly had happened between us. I gazed into the eyes that had laughed with me, cried with me, and lied to me. And after 2.5 hours, my friends had disappeared. And after 2.5 years, there we were, reminiscing. God help me. Our relationship was a country western song. We talked about work and family and finally the mistakes. He delicately compared me to his fiancée. She wasn't a hard worker like I was, and his parents loved me, not her. I was smiling on the inside, knowing that she would never measure up. But I reminded him that she was his choice, not me. I was over him. Throughout our conversation, an older man at the bar had been watching us.
You two look like a happy couple. You'll be together a long time.
He turned back to his drink. What was strange was that neither of us corrected him. I mean, he was totally wrong. The liquor may have clouded my judgment, but not my memory. I stupidly believed that he could not penetrate my solid wall of denial. Something was brewing between us, but it was just an old habit, and I knew the difference now, right? When we walked outside, we paused in awe of the beautiful snow. Was that Dan Fogelberg I heard in the background singing Auld Lang Syne? It felt as if time had stopped and the world had quieted just for us. When it was time to say goodbye, he took my face in his hands and he tipped my head up and nuzzled my neck.
I'll always love you. You know that, don't you?
It wasn't a question. Me too. His kiss brought me back to a comfortable, happy place, and suddenly I didn't want to be without him. Come home with me. Oh, whoa, cowgirl.
I can't.
There it was. That familiar rejection. I wanted him to come home with me without hesitation. You know, I wanted the power to make him break his promises to her and deceive her the way he had deceived me. I wanted this, but it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't right, and I knew it. You know, he had finally gotten a dose of conscience, where it had been for me. Ah, yes. I was the one who had taught him, hadn't I? Well, at least we had that.
Just for a moment I was back at school and felt that old familiar pain. as I turned to make my way back home, the snow turned into rain.